This is Tom Doody, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search for my site. Janet Reno has died at 78. This report from Reuters, 8:36 a.m. Eastern Time. MPW most powerful woman. Janet Reno dies 78. Reuters, November 7th, 2016, 8:36 a.m. Eastern. Reno's goddaughter, Gabrielle D'Alemberte, says she succumbed to complications of Parkinson's disease early on Monday in Miami. The blunt-spoken lawyer worked as a top U.S. law enforcement official under Clinton from 1993 to 2001, becoming the longest-serving Attorney General of the 20th century. Just 2 weeks into the job, she authorized a deadly 1993 raid on Branch Davidian cult compound, Waco, Texas. Reno later authorized agents to seize 6-year-old Cuban shipwreck survivor Elian Gonzalez from relatives in Miami in 2000. She headed the Justice Department during the government's huge antitrust case against Microsoft. The former Miami prosecutor picked by Clinton after his first two choices for the job ran into trouble. The confirmation stage exhibited an independent streak and a brusque manner that often upset the White House. Reno weathered White House complaints that she was not a team player and that she sought too many special prosecutors to investigate cases, including Whitewater, affair involving the finances of the president and the First Lady Hillary Clinton. She always said she made decisions based on evidence and the law. Waco Gonzalez. Reno was only 38 days into the Attorney General's job when she approved the April 19th, 1993 FBI raid that led to deaths of about 80 people, including many children, at the Waco cult compound. Federal agents had earlier tried to serve a warrant on the cult's leader, David Koresh, who said he was the Messiah, for stockpiling weapons. 4 agents and 6 cult members were killed in the ensuing shootout, leading to a 51-day standoff. With negotiations at impasse, Reno gave the go-ahead for the raid after hearing reports of child abuse in the compound. The raid on the heavily armed cultists ended in an inferno that engulfed the site. I made the decision. I'm accountable. The buck stops with me. A grim-looking Reno told the latter news conference. Reno took a personal interest in political tussle of Elian Gonzalez, the young shipwreck survivor and whose mother drowned fleeing Cuba. Reno met the boy and his Miami relatives, who battled to keep him from returning to communist Cuba, and his father and grandmother, who wanted to raise Gonzalez in his homeland. Reno argued that Elian belonged with his father and acted after the Miami relatives defied a U.S. government order to hand him over. She authorized armed agents to take the boy from the relative's home in the pre-dawn raid in April 2000. and reunite him with his father, who took him back to Cuba. The raid infuriated Miami's Cuban exile community, whose members picketed her home and denounced her as a witch and a lackey of Cuban President Fidel Castro. Microsoft, Oklahoma. In 1998, Reno's Justice Department brought a huge antitrust case against Microsoft. 2 years later, a federal judge ordered the breakup of the software giant because it had ignored his ruling that it had used unlawful monopolistic practices. The case was settled in 2001 by the administration of George W. Bush, Clinton's Republican successor, in terms seen as favorable to Microsoft. Reno appeared with Clinton after a 1995 truck bomb attack at the Oklahoma City Federal Building that killed 168 people and vowed to seek a death penalty for the perpetrators. Convicted Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh in 2001 became the first federal agent and prisoner executed since 1863. McVeigh said he carried out the attack to punish the U.S. government for the Waco cult raid and another raid in Idaho. Some comedians made fun of Reno during her time in office, lampooning her appearance and her height. She was 6'2". Among them, Will Ferrell, who impersonated her on Saturday Night Live. Shortly after leaving office in January 2001, she appeared on the show next to Ferrell, both wearing identical outfits, in a sketch called Janet Reno's Dance Party. She was diagnosed in 1995 with Parkinson's, a progressive disorder of the central nervous system that caused trembling of her arms. All it does is shake, and you get used to the shaking after a while, she told a TV interview. Reno was Attorney General throughout the Clinton 2 terms as president and was in the job longer than anyone except William Wirt, who held the job from November 1817 until March 1829. After leaving Washington, Reno returned to Florida, ran for governor in 2002, but lost in the Democratic primary. Reno was born July 21st, 1938, to Miami parents who were newspaper reporters. She attended public schools in Miami and earned a chemistry degree at Cornell University in 1960. This has been Tom Doody, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao. Janet Reno.